And welcome back, everybody, to another Hangout episode here on Friday night, man. And this is something that we're going to be doing. Basically, my plan is to do it every Friday night, just kind of hanging out, just talking about some football, some things about the season, and to be honest with you, anything you guys want to talk about, man. This is basically your guys' show. If we want to talk about movies, we can talk about movies, music, whatever it is. I will usually have one or two things that I will talk about, but if we don't get to that, no problem, man. At the end of the day, as long as we're hanging out, this can be 30 minutes, this could be an hour, honestly. It's as long as you guys want to hang out. And yeah, we're going to try to do this every Friday. And if we get enough people, man, and people want more, we'll try to do a Monday night one as well. So, heck yeah, man. So, welcome to the off season here at I'm Not a Coach. Yeah, man. The two things that I was going to talk about, obviously, it's in the description. Super Bowl 60 recap. We'll talk about some of the bigger storylines that happened during and after the game. And then on top of that, kind of giving you an idea of what my plan is for the channel this off season. So obviously, we're going to be talking about probably some free agency, some draft stuff, things like that, and what other kind of things that we will be including during the off season. So we got David Stegosaurus. Woo! Looking at doing the Ric Flair right here. I like it. Let's go. And then your local, hey brother, how you doing? How you doing? David, go for a duration of 69 minutes or more. Ooh, nice, nice. It's almost weird. Like this thing is freaking me out right here. I'm not used to seeing this much of my background. Usually there's a scoreboard that is that's kind of blocking the rest of this. So I know I'm gonna have to add some stuff to the background here because I don't know. It's surprisingly blanker than I usually am used to seeing. Let's turn this bad boy down just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, but yeah, man, look at that. We got Steve as well. Let's off season drama begin. I know. Oh man, it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be wild. But yeah, man, how you guys doing? How have you been? How's the week been? And yeah, man, have you guys gotten a chance to like watch or rewatch certain parts of that Super Bowl? Any of the highlights, any storylines? Before I even talk about my stuff, let me know. I was thinking you could make a scoreboard for the Q&A, even if fake shelves or OT move and football. Hey, there we go. I mean, I still have that stuff around, my man. Still have that. Still have that stuff here. Like we can bring the football back for sure. Look at this. Bam. Look at that. Put that right on the maybe on the top of the cheese head or probably move that right there. Boom. Look at that. Yeah, we still got all the bells and whistles here. They're just invisible. But yeah, man. Your local. I hate the offseason coming from a Bills fan. That is fair, man. Especially the first couple of weeks of the offseason. It's always just like you're like, oh, you basically have to stop the routine of, at least for me, watching Thursday, watching obviously Sunday, the prep work that leads into those games, obviously Monday as well. It's like all that stuff is just like I'm like, dude, there's too much time. But then it's kind of nice, especially the first week for me. I'm gonna be kind of not doing much outside of this thing. I haven't even started uh, the uh, the it's not a film room yet. I did want to take like a week, maybe a week and a half to just kind of decompress from the football season. And and yeah, so I'll probably be starting filming those next week, if not the last week of February, to try to make sure I have at least an episode for you during I would say the first, probably somewhere around the first week of March is my plan for that. But I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit. Your local, they have been rough for us. Yeah, man. And it's weird too for the Bills. New coach, obviously a new offensive coordinator. It's going to be a lot of changes. The good thing is for the Bills, I'll say this is one. Obviously, you still have Josh Allen. You still have your core and that offense. And to be honest with you, it'd be one thing if you had like a great defense with a lot of guys that are going to be, contracts are expiring. So you're like, man, we're going to lose so many guys. There's some good players on that defense, but it is, I mentioned it, it's old. It needs to be retooled. And that's kind of exciting for if I was a Bills fan or whatever it is, there's just that, hey, we saw what this defense did. It was not pretty. It can only get better, hopefully. Um, so yeah, man, it's gonna be very exciting, man. Free agency. I gotta look at their cap, um, see if they can even potentially sign anybody. I guarantee you they'll probably fill in some holes, but the draft is going to be a big part of what the Bills do this offseason. I think they really need to retool that defense. I've talked about it, and I think they can get away with what they have on offense, but I would like to see them if they can find somebody to give Josh Allen a true weapon in the passing game. Steve, the only good thing about the offseason is the draft week. I mean, true, true. I would say that's probably the crown jewel for the NFL during the offseason. But I don't know, man. I like free agency. I just like the excitement because one, it's either gonna work out great or it's gonna be an utter disaster. Because especially the first couple days of free agency, these guys are getting, and I hate to use this term because at the end of the day, the market is what the market is. I'm kind of happy for most of these guys getting some money because at the end of the day, it's either nobody spends it and it's just billionaires keeping more money, or at least it's going to somebody that's actually doing something on the field. They're putting their body, their livelihood on the line. And but yeah, I mean the first couple days, man, it can be wild in free agency. There's obviously going to be some cuts. Guys like Rashawn Gary for the Packers could be a guy that's not going to be on the Packers anymore unless they restructure that deal or something. Maybe a trade. But there's going to be a lot of new faces somewhere else that we're not used to seeing, so that's always exciting. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting this off season, especially because you have so many teams that have so many young quarterbacks that are still on those rookie contracts, especially in the AFC. Man, the AFC was just filled with young quarterbacks. The NFC North also filled with some, or the NFC also has some young quarterbacks. It'll be interesting what Sam Darnold and the Seahawks do because that contract, the way it's structured, it's good for Sam for this coming year, but after that, there's very little money. And the way they structured it, they could have cut Sam at the end of this year if it did not work out. Obviously, they will not be doing that. So it'll be interesting to see if they maybe give Sam some more money, maybe move some of that money into bonuses to kind of maybe free up some cap space. So maybe they can sign some other players, some other younger guys that might be on the chopping block, or heck, bring somebody in on that offense, man. Bring in some guys for that running back core that was starting to get thin at the end there with Charbonnet out, but obviously Kenneth Walker had a freaking heck of a game. Steve, so let's start with this. What is your expectations for next season as a Green Bay fan? As a Green Bay fan, man, um, it's going to be interesting for sure. The offense, I think, fell short of expectations this year for sure. There was definitely times where they looked great, but I would say for the majority of the season, or at least half of the season, I mean they were terrible. Late October into November, just awful, man. That Eagles game, I still have nightmares about it. Um, so yeah, I think they're gonna have to do something. Obviously, Romeo Dobbs. There's gonna be a couple guys that are up for either renewed contracts. I don't think Romeo is gonna be coming back unless he comes back on a friendly deal. I'm talking about somewhere between 8 to 10 million a year. But I think the Packers they hit the receiving the receiver really hard this past offseason. Obviously, Matthew Golden, the young man out of TCU. So they invested in the receiver. So I think they will be okay without Romeo. Plus, they could draft more guys as well this season. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how Tucker Kraft does with his injury. Hopefully, he's back sometime early next season. But for the defense, I think that's going to be where you're going to see the most change, especially up front. I think the linebacking core was solid, but it didn't. It lacked the ability to make big plays. Turnovers were a big issue for the Packers this year. And then once Micah Parsons went down, man, the pressure was just non-existent. So I think they need to add corners, at least two in the draft. I would say three, but that might be too much to invest all in one. But yeah, they need to get at least some corners, and they need to find a Robin to Micah's Batman, especially because Micah may not be ready for next season. So, yep. Captain! Captain, what's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing? But yeah, man, that's kind of my expectations, man. The special teams kind of been lackluster with Rich Bisaccia. Has not been horrendous, but it's not been good either. There's been very little benefit for the Packers in that realm, and especially I think Bisaccia is still one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, special teams coach. I mean, this is going to be what, his fifth season now with Green Bay, maybe his fourth. I mean, I think at this point, Rich Bisaccia, I think this season you need to start seeing less mistakes and at least some positive with that special teams unit. Otherwise, I think Rich is going to be gone the next season. That's my opinion. But yeah. But let me know about your guys' team. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to the most this offseason for your teams, respectively? Obviously, David, Kansas City, what are you expecting, my man? You're local. What are you expecting as a Bills fan? Captain, I think you're a Patriots fan, right, my man? Let me know. Oh, no, Bills. Sorry. Jesus, wow. Sorry. My apologies. It's terrible. Steve, Dallas, and C. Strom, also a Dallas fan. What's going on? Good morning. Did you see Buffalo Bills hired a new coaching staff? Yes, they did, Captain. Yes, they did. It's gonna be interesting, man. There's gonna be a lot of change in the not necessarily on the field for the Bills, but there's gonna be a lot of new structure for the Bills, and we'll see if they're heading in the right direction. I still think they're making the mistake by letting Sean McDermott go, but who knows? If it works and they go to the Super Bowl or they win the Super Bowl, I don't think anybody's going to be complaining. So, stay strong. I don't think next season will do great after his injury. Even if he plays at some point, he will not be that good. So he needs help, 100%. If you're talking about, are you talking about Micah? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think, like weirdly enough, man, his with Micah, his first two seasons now with Green Bay, he's basically been injured when he was kind of heading into the regular season. Obviously, he had that back issue with the once he got when he during his last couple of weeks with Dallas, and then obviously the last his first season in Green Bay, he was dealing with that back injury early on. Didn't miss any games early, but obviously something that they had to monitor, kind of slow his or at cap his snap count for the first like 2 or 3 weeks. And now this season will be coming in, obviously recovering from that torn ACL. So something to look forward to. I expect nothing crazy. We probably need a bridge quarterback until Mahomes is ready again. I agree with you. I think a solid tight end or a cheetah receiver for some flavor. There we go. Is that cheetah? Is that we're talking about like cheesy orange, or are we looking for some habanero hots? Get it? Cause cheetah. You got it. Let's go, man. We got 5 people hanging out on a Friday night, man. Let's go. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Move the ball. We're gonna just be moving the ball around, just keep you guys focused here. But yeah. So I'll bring up the first old image here that I kind of want to talk about. So obviously, we obviously watched that Super Bowl. A little bit of I don't want to call it a dud because it was good defense for the most part. but there was some bad offense, and I think in if it isn't already in couple years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, when people talk about this Super Bowl, I think this is going to be the image that is going to be perfectly encapsulating what this game basically was, and it was a young quarterback that was trying to do everything he probably could, but the moment was either too big for him or just the team around him just did not come up to the occasion, man. And that was just the way it is, man. And just dominant defense, absolutely dominant defense by the Seattle Seahawks, man. They were putting pressure on this kid the entire freaking game from the first quarter basically until the end, man. This kid was running for his life. Obviously, ended up getting sacked what 6 or 7 times in this game. Probably could have been more if it wasn't for a few uh, late flags and certain calls and things like that. But yeah, man, this poor kid was running for his life. Nah, man, Chester isn't fast enough. Maybe go Roadrunner speed is a better idea. I like that. I like it. Go a little meet. Steve, my prediction for Dallas season depends on how they improve the defense. If this team gets a solid defense, they're a playoff team. If they for another season without play, okay, that's fair. Is God, I'm trying to think of his dang name now. Did you guys change defensive coordinators or no? I know he was the Bears head coach, but I cannot. Matt Eberflus. There we go. Is Matt Eberflus still the defensive coordinator for Dallas? Because let me see here. Okay, no, it looks like he was let go. Okay, so he was fired last month actually, back in January 6th. But yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, I think this image when people talk about the Super Bowl, this is probably going to be what people remember or will basically be a encapsulation of what actually that game was. Man, it was just a pure defensive domination. Yeah, but I'm gonna be. That's gonna be. I like what. I think that was the right decision by Dallas to let Matt Eberflus go because that was just no bueno. Yeah, who did they hire? Did they? I'm assuming they already hired their defensive coordinator. It was Christian Parker. Christian Parker was. Oh, and he was actually on the Packers. He was a defensive quality control coach from 2019 to 2020. So at the beginning of the Matt LaFleur era. Then he was a defensive back coach for the Broncos for 3 seasons, 2021 to through the 2023 season. He was a passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles when they won that Super Bowl in 2025. Okay, so he got a decent pedigree. Okay, all right, like it. Seastrom here to enjoy the 3-day weekend. Let's go, baby! Heck yeah, man. God, I love that, man. I love it. You earned it, my man. Y'all been watching the Olympics at all? I've been watching snippets. Believe it or not, I watched as I actually went to the movies for the first time since like September, I think. And when I was waiting for the movie to get started, I had like 25 minutes. I watched curling for like those 25 minutes, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I know curling gets a lot of crap, but dude, I was like borderline on the edge of my seat, man. Am I the only one? Let me know. Any curling fans out there? And once again, I'll be bringing up these images, but don't worry. Like, if we talk about something different, I have zero problem ignoring this for a while. So, yeah, once again, this is just to hang out, man. This is just to hang out, talk about anything, anything, anything. So, I missed curling. I haven't been in the Olympics mood this year, sadly. There we go. Yeah, man, and it's I think this last couple of days they were doing the like a lot of snowboarding. I think Miles Garrett's girlfriend, Chloe Kim, I think that's her name. Yeah, she just won a gold medal for the half pipe. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. You know, U.S. getting a nice little gold medal right there in some snowboarding. Which let's go. Yeah, I think there's like multiple events in curling, but like this, the one I was watching was like mixed tag team kind of thing. It was a man and a woman. That's what I think that's what it's called. Mixed curling, but yeah, the U.S. came in second. They got the silver there. They lost to a brother and sister from Sweden, I think. So congratulations to those siblings, man. That's like it's one thing to have like a gold medalist in the family. It's awesome. It's even better when they're siblings. Like holy cow, man! That family just got two gold medals from the same event, man. That's gonna be awesome. Imagine being like your uncle, you watching your uncle and potentially your mom or aunt or whatever it was, watching them on TV winning a gold medal. That would be freaking wild. That's a wild freaking story. So let me see here. Your local, I don't think this Buffalo Bills team will get far in 2026. Poor defense and an inconsistent offense. Also, horrible staff decisions. We even said Keon was a bad pick. Peluga explained, oh, wow. They really called. Oh, man. I mean, I guess, I mean, if they're ready to move on from Coleman, I guess. But even then, like, unless you're gonna just cut him, like you could probably get somebody to trade like a seventh round draft pick, like that. Maybe not this year, but next year. Like I don't know, talking bad about a potential trade player that you could trade away potentially, even if it's for a late pick. It's a little weird. So definitely a little weird. Been some interesting stuff going on. U.S. nearly got gold in curling. There we go. Ended up with a silver instead. Big one I've been watching is actually hockey. Ooh, okay. Let me know, man. Let me know. U.S. has beat every single opponent, including Canada, by scoring at least 5 points. Dang! They've only allowed two teams to score even once. The rest of the games were shutouts. Let's freaking go. Team USA. All right, let's go, baby. Represent. David, a random topic. I was going through a backup hard drive and came across a screenshot of a text I sent a friend many years back dissing his mother. It was an epic diss. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Well, do you mind if I ask? Like, what was the situation? What was the diss, man? Holy cow. Seastrom, they look unstoppable. Let's freaking go, man. Yeah, we gotta show those Canadians. No, they seem nice. They seem nice. There's always something like when a North American team always kind of wins, whether it's Mexico, Canada, U.S. You're always kind of like, you know what? Let's go, baby. Apparently, Mexico is pretty good at like high diving, like the pool stuff. I think that's in the summer Olympics. But yeah, I've seen like I've seen Mexico win like a couple bronze and silvers. I think they won gold one time, like on the high dive. So that was pretty cool. Your local, search it up. Terry Poligo says it was not his first choice. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, that's one of those things where you just keep it to yourself. Like, is that just? It's like once again, if you're ready to cut this guy, first off, cut him first before you start talking smack. Because I just feel like that's just like you're poisoning the well by talking bad about a player that is still currently on your team. I still wouldn't trash talk because I feel like it's kind of It's kind of petty, especially when you're like an executive. But it's just like I don't know. It'll be interesting what they do with Coleman there because he doesn't seem like he wants to be there, at least from what I saw. And on top of that, his it's not like his play on the field has kind of exonerated him from some of this stuff. Like if he was playing great, you'd be like, okay, well, if he's putting up JSN numbers, you kind of have to a little bit put up with it. But I mean, Coleman has, I mean, he's nowhere near a Pro Bowler. He's not even the best receiver on that team. So I don't know. I think it's just a bad situation for both parties, to be honest with you. I don't think either of them are handling it well. We've had a friendly game of dissing each other's mothers. Oh, we talking about Yo Mama jokes? Anybody remember that show from MTV from like the early 2000s? No? Yeah. Mine was your mom has seen more wood in one night than your yard. Oh! Oh! Did his mom disagree or no? I'm kidding. All I know about this Winter Olympics is the hockey team doing great, and the Norwegian guy who let us know he cheated his girl. Oh yeah, dude, I heard something about that, and I was like, no, not the. First off, not the time, but also no. Like I don't know. To me, that's not. That just felt like a dude that was like, let me put some pressure on her, so she can take me back. And it's like, no, dog. Like, you give her space, and if she gives you a call back, great. Like you can apologize, you can send her a text and whatever. Like sure, but kind of airing out your dirty laundry is it's like I don't know with the goal to get her back. It's one thing if you want to apologize, fine. But like when you're like, I think he said like his goal is to get her back, and it's like I don't think that's up to you, big dog. I don't think whatever you do or say should decide what she like. It's like nah, dog. Like you made your decision, let her make hers. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, that was weird for sure. Don't take him back. Oh, absolutely not. Heck no. Heck no. Yeah, now on top of that, now everybody knows too. Like if you get back together with that guy, like everybody like and people are gonna like if you see any kind of post with her and him, like there's gonna be it's just I don't know. Like, hey, big ups for the guy, I guess, in like a small by admitting and telling her, I guess. But like, it's just like, nah, dog. I guess it's like that Jonah Hill meme. It's like, no, no, that's you messed up twice. Now it's just, but yeah, man. So Ghostbuster right here, man. Happy for Sam. Uh, Became the first quarterback from that 2018 draft class, obviously to win, not only to win, but actually to go to a Super Bowl. Actually, he had been to a Super Bowl before when he was on San Fran 2 years ago, right? So yeah, he was a backup then in San Francisco. So evidently he did make a Super Bowl. Obviously, did not make an appearance in that game at all. I don't even think he was active for that game at all. But yeah, man, a couple years later, man, Sam Darnold leading his team to a Super Bowl win. Did not turn the ball over a single time in the playoffs after I'm pretty sure he led all quarterbacks in turnovers coming into this season. I'm pretty sure. Let me know if I'm wrong about that one, but I'm pretty sure he was one of those guys that was kind of up there in terms of turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, all included. And I mean, the guy played a perfect postseason. Didn't light it up, I think he ended up with like 50% completion percentage, just over 200 yards, only one touchdown, but did not make any mistakes. Played it smart, played it safe. Knew that his defense was playing lights out. along with some other guys that we will mention throughout this stream. But yeah, man, Sam, what a hell of a freaking story for that dude, man. Like 2 years ago, this guy was still a bust. Was considered one of the worst picks of the last 10 years. Obviously, his most famous the biggest thing that people remembered him for was what I think it was his first or second year in the NFL. It was against the Patriots, I think. Was when he was seeing ghosts. You know that soundbite. That was his biggest claim to fame, unfortunately. And look where he is now, man. Freaking Super Bowl champion. Steve, if I was him and the owner said this in public, I will respond in public by saying the reason this team can't win is because people like it. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, that's a guaranteed way to get cut for sure. Um, and I don't know, man. That's don't be wrong. I think if he had gotten that, if he would have been on that second contract and with a lot of guaranteed money, or made most of that guaranteed money, probably. I think you would hear some stuff like that, but you're still only what second year, coming into his third now, still kind of on that rookie contract. Still waiting to get some, hopefully maybe a second contract in the NFL. And if he comes out saying that, man, I think there would be a lot of teams that would be scratching that dude off, even if he came in for a very cheap price. But yeah. But like I said, I don't think either of them are handling it. The Bills executives or Coleman, I don't think either of them are handling this whole situation very well. But yeah, man, freaking wild. But yeah, let me. So yeah, that was Ghost Buster Sam Darnold there. Happy for Sam, man. Let's go. But now next year I will not be rooting for him. All right, he's got to. Everybody gets one. But yeah, I'll bring up the other picture here. But yeah, man. So obviously Kenneth Walker also had a massive night. Finished with 135 yards on the day. Did not get into the end zone, but 135 yards was good enough to be 10th most in Super Bowl history, man. Incredible. The most rushing yards by a running back in a Super Bowl since Super Bowl 32, which was Terrell Davis back in, I think, Super Bowl. Sorry, not Super Bowl 32, but I think that was in 1998, I believe. So yeah, man, um, freaking what an incredible freaking run by Walker, man, and doing it the last two games without without his number two, man, Nick Charbonnet, oh Zach Charbonnet. But yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Glad to see a running back get the Super Bowl MVP because it's been a while. Steve, speaking of the Norwegian guy, if you want if you wanted her back, why would you make that in public? I mean, it's not the '90s anymore. You have phones. Yeah, man. It's not like this is like 1950 where you're like, I can't. I gotta get it to her. I gotta go through the radio. It's like Big Dog. So from because I was reading a little bit of Reddit of what that backstory was. So apparently he told her before he told everybody else on that press conference. He told her like a week ago or a couple days ago that he cheated on her, and she was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this relationship's over." So when he said it in public, it was to get her back, and not to tell her. She already knew because he told her. And so this was like his last ditch effort to try to make her or convince her to take him back. And that's just like, that's even worse, dog. I was like, okay, she didn't know. So, maybe he was trying to humiliate himself. But it's just like, oh, this was like, she hasn't come back to you. So now let's make this a public thing. It's like that's just weird, dog. That's like some manipulative stuff, like trying to put like public pressure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it, man. That dude's weird. Just take the L, my man. All right, take the L, learn from it, and just do better with the next person. All right, so yeah, Kenneth Walker, man, the 10th most rushing yards in a single Super Bowl ever, man. What a freaking run! And on top of that, like it's not, and it wasn't one of those where like everything was clicking for Seattle. You know, offensively they were like we talked about it. Sam Darnold, 50% he finished with. He was doing even worse in the first half. I think he was 9 of 22, uh, and he finished with just over 200 yards. I think at halftime he had like 105 or something like that. It was not a lot. And Kenneth Walker was the main one of the biggest reasons that offense was able to get into field goal range 4 times through the first 3 quarters. Man, it wasn't always pretty. He always didn't. He wasn't just consistently getting 6 or 7 yards, but he was getting consistently like every third run was going off for about 8 or plus yards. I think he finished with 4 runs of over 10 yards. So like he was explosive and consistent, man. I think he finished with about I think he was averaging about 5 yards at the end of the game. So pretty good. Steve, well, all I know is that woman is lucky to get out of that relationship. Heck yeah, man. Hopefully she, shout out to her. Hopefully she's doing well. I don't know who she is, and we'll keep it that way. I don't want to, I don't care. Hopefully she's living a private life and happy with, moving on from whatever the heck that was with that dude. I don't know what the heck that dude was thinking. But yeah, man. And then on top of that, yeah, Kenneth Walker, just a great freaking Super Bowl, man. Heck of a job, man. I'm glad he got the recognition that, in my opinion, there should have been another running back. And the last time the Patriots won a Super Bowl, and that was James White. Remember that guy? Was like the main reason the Patriots were able to beat the Falcons in that comeback. I think he had like 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, over 140 yards. James White should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Even Tom Brady said that. So it's nice to get a running back, get some recognition for what he was able to do in that game. So shout out Kenneth Walker, man. Yeah, and I was like I said, I went to the movies. I saw 2 movies this past week on Tuesday. The first one was I'm trying to think here. What was the first one? Send Help. It was the Sam Raimi movie. I'm a big Sam Raimi guy, man. I like once I saw the first Evil Dead, like I think close to 10 years ago now. It took me a while to get to it. Um, but yeah, man. Ever since then, and like obviously I grew up with the Spider Mans and his trilogy there. I even saw Spider-Man 3 in theaters. Actually, no, I saw Spider-Man 2 and 3 in theaters. Those were like one of the first 2 movies that I remember watching, going to the theaters as a whippersnapper, as you would say. But yeah, man. Steve, I can't imagine how Seattle will keep this team together for next season. It's going to be interesting, man. There's going to be a lot of. I would. Luckily for them, their defense, most of their defensive starters and most of that defense is either on a cheap contract or they were drafted within the last 2 years. So they still have roughly 2 to 3 years with most of these guys, especially in that secondary. Like what they call what's the nickname for the secondary? The dark side. Yeah, like most of those guys are still very much on their rookie contracts. So I think Kenneth Walker, I think he is due this offseason for a contract, right? I don't think they've signed him yet. See here. Or did he sign one this offseason? Kenneth Walker is completing. Oh, no, no. Okay, he did. And 2025 is the final year of that 4-year contract that he signed. Okay, so yeah, so he's gonna be a free agent this season, man. So who knows, man? Could be a nice little. There's definitely gonna be a nice payday for Kenneth Walker. He's still only 25 years old. He doesn't turn 26 until late October. So I know running backs tend to age a little bit quicker in the NFL than, but still 26 is still pretty young. That's at least anywhere between 2 to 5 years of some good, decent football. So, David, you gotta get the hearts out there, man. Let's go. Obviously, you see, I got the green and gold going on in the background here. The second movie was, holy cow, I am forgetting. It was a horror movie for sure. Hold up. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. It was a movie that I wanted to watch for a little bit here. Hold up. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. 28 years later, the Bone Temple. It was actually surprisingly, it was my favorite of the two, man. Favorite of the two. 28 years later, the Bone Temple. I thought it was really fun. It's really really fun, man. Like the camera work was very kinetic. Like it was doing different things. It wasn't just straight shot. There was some good humor. The practical effects were so freaking good. I'm a big fan of practical effects, man. Like, don't be wrong, I understand CGI and all this other stuff. Like, it can be done really well, and it's also cheap. Helps some of the smaller films get made. When they don't have time to do practical effects, man. But man, dude, that one was really really good. Ralph Fiennes, the guy who played Voldemort, he played a big role in this one, and he was really fun, man. Really good actor. Always seems to do really solid work. And yeah, that was the other one I watched. I like that one. I remember watching the one that came out last year. I liked it. This one I think was a little bit better, just a little bit. So that was pretty fun. David, I watched The Ugly Stepsister the other day. It was interesting. Hey, happy Friday the 13th. Ooh, look at that, man. Friday the 13th. Let's go. Well, happy Friday the 13th to you, man. Man, I gotta watch the what's that film franchise? Uh, Friday the 13th, but Jason Voorhees. There we go. Any horror fans out there? The spookiest Friday of the year, man. Friday the 13th. Anything bad luck happen to you guys today? David, I'm usually not a horror film fan, but I did love Kevin in the Woods. Oh, heck yeah, man! Well, that was the one with it was like a little bit of a. I'm trying to think of the not a parody, but like a little bit of a lot of homages to horror films. Yeah, that one was good. I like that one. I like that it played with a lot of horror formulas, former horror like kind of tropes. I agree with you, man. I like that one too. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see here. Witherspoon. Yeah, he had a big Super Bowl too, man. Devin Witherspoon. He's the one that got. He forced the incompletion early in the game on a corner blitz, and then on the second time he went on a corner blitz, he was able to get that. He was able to force the interception that perfectly actually brings up what I was actually gonna the next slide here, baby. Bam! Uchenna Nuwasu with a pick six there. Obviously, that was Devin Witherspoon. But so Witherspoon was drafted in 2023. He was a fifth round pick. Sorry, a fifth overall pick. So he's got 23, 24, 25. So he's got one more year left. At least initially, they'll probably pick up his fifth year option. So, yeah, so at the very least, he's got one more year. And if they pick up his fifth year option this offseason, they need to make that decision. Then they'll get 2 years with him. But they will have to pay him as one of the top 10 players at his position for that 1 year. I think he'll probably make somewhere around like 16 to 17 million. So we'll see what the Seahawks do if they want to pay him that much. But yeah, man, Witherspoon, man, he was another player once again that had a fantastic game. And honestly, there's probably not going to be many players on that Seattle defense that did not have a big game. But obviously he was a big highlight. And then the man that you see here, man, Uchenna Nuwasu, one of my favorite names to say. I think I butchered it the first time I said it during the game, but I think I got it down pat by the end of it. But yeah, man, able to basically the first image that kind of showed you here with unfortunately Drake getting hit. That was when Nuwasu was able to kind of swoop in before that ball hit the ground and take it to the house for a pick six, which was, I mean, pick six in the Super Bowl. Now the last 2 years, I'm not saying this channel and you and all of us are good luck, but we had a pick six during the Eagles and Chiefs game. Sorry to bring it up, David. My apologies. But I mean, it's a pick six, man. And now the last 2 years, man, a pick six in the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. David, so there's a Christmas horror film, Violent Night, was pretty good. Hey, they're making a sequel to that, actually. Apparently it's coming out this year, but like in Christmas time. But yeah, I agree with you. I like that one. It had David Harbour, right? He was Santa. And one of my favorite comedic actors, actually. I love his, like to call it stand-up is like, I think he does like theater / stand-up, but oh my God, I'm thinking of it. I can't remember his name right now. John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo, I think, was a bad guy in that movie, I think. So, at the end of the day, you have to respect the pick six in Super Bowl. Woo! Let's go. What Eagles Chief pick six? I have no memory of that. That I think it was some guy named Mustard or something like that, or I don't know, something to do with deli mustard or something. I don't know. He played for some college Iowa team. I don't know. Steve, the thing about horror movies I don't like is making a lot of other movies about it in that way. I scream movies except the first one. Oh, gotcha. You're not a big fan of like the amount of like sequels that they come out with. I can understand that. And let's be honest, like I feel like there's very few horror franchises or even just franchises that the sequels they tend to be on a downward trajectory. I'm not gonna lie to you though, I do like the Scream franchise. I don't think all of them are great by any means. I think there's probably like two that are legitimately like great in my opinion. The first one is like it's a classic. The second one is probably the weakest of the group. The third one, I think it's an acquired taste. There's a lot of funny actors. And then the fourth one is like very, very, very brutal. Very, very brutal. It's very, very different from the first three. It's a lot less funny, a lot less comedic, which I think worked for it at the time. And the sequels, I feel like they've been okay. They haven't been bad, but they're not great. So, but yeah, there's not many horror franchises that don't have like a bad downward trajectory in terms of their sequels. They tend to be less and less well made as they go along. So I agree with you. Damn, dude, Devin Witherspoon is a three-time Pro Bowler. Holy freaking cow! Okay. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, Nawasu with that freaking pick six, man. That was that even before that, I think the game was 22-7 with like less than 5 minutes before that interception. So it was kind of over, but that kind of gave it a little bit of juice at the end, man. It kind of basically perfectly put a bow, a beautiful pick six bow on that defensive performance by the Seattle Seahawks, man. So heck yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think. The Evil Dead, the Evil Dead franchise, in my opinion, is the one franchise, and I'm a little bit biased. It is probably my favorite horror movie franchise. I think it's the only franchise that I think consistently almost gets better as it goes. I know not everybody liked the Army of Darkness. If you haven't seen that one, it's a lot more comedic than the first two, and then the next two after that. If you guys I don't know if you guys like like really like bad like really like horror, like a lot of like gruesome horror, and it's all prosthetics, but like the remake of Evil Dead that came out in I think 2012, 2013, something like that. That one was really well made, man. It's a little gross, but there's almost no CGI in the prosthetics. It's incredible. So if you like that kind of stuff, I recommend it. It's the same director that made Lights Out, and then he also did the newest Alien movie that came out like I think a year or two ago. So yeah. All right. So those were the four like things that I knew people were going to be remembering. But I did want to bring up three other things about this game that doesn't seem to be getting talked about a whole lot. And the first couple here is going to be, let me see here. Oh, Steve. And now I see that with every superhero movie like Spider Man, I didn't watch any since Toby left. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, what the Garfield Spider Mans. I actually remember watching I remember watching the first one of his movies. I think there's only two. Um, but yeah, I remember watching the first one. It was actually I went with a buddy of mine, two buddies of mine, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to go see a movie?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." Like they didn't tell me what they were gonna plan to watch, but I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm not doing anything." And like as they were walking up to get the tickets, I heard they're like, "Yeah, can we get three tickets to Katy Perry's?" And I was like, "What?" Yeah, they went to go see Katy Perry. Like they wanted to go see Katy Perry's. Like I think it was like a the concert movie that she had like over 10 years ago at this point. I did not know that. I was like, and I was not gonna be like, well, I don't want to. I was like, whatever. I was, um, yeah. Needless to say, like 15 minutes into that movie, I'm just like, I am bored. I don't want to be here. So I snuck out of that one and ended up watching the Garfield Spider-Man movie for the next like hour plus. And then I came back to the Katy Perry one, and they're like, "Dude, where'd you go?" They're like, "Dude, you're gone for like an hour." I was like, "I was watching another movie." So, but yeah. Anyway, the Garfield ones are okay. They're pretty fun. They're not as good as the Sam Raimi ones, but they're pretty good. If you like Spider Man, I recommend them. The suit in the second Garfield movie, so freaking good, so good. One of the best Spider Man suits of all time, in my opinion. But anyway, let me see here, David. I mean, there's a good Katy Perry episode of SNL. I don't think I've watched that one. There's a. Was that recent or? No, right? I'm assuming that's when like she was like at her most popular. Hold up. Wasn't exactly sure how big I can make these, but I'm gonna shrink this just a little bit because it's covering this beautiful mug right here, man. Let me see here. Oh, David, you. I should have known. I should have known. Poor Elmo. Or Lucky Elmo. I don't know. No. I should have known. I could. Now that I'm reading it, now that I'm reading your comment, I can, I can basically see. Yeah, exactly. I can basically see your smirk. You cheeky bugger. Unbelievable. That's hilarious. um, but speaking of a pair, this pair right here also did an incredible job during the Super Bowl. Um, so starting, sorry, I couldn't help myself. So starting with this guy, number 5 here, and Jason Myers. If it wasn't for him, we would have had 0, and I mean 0 points through the first 3 quarters of that Super Bowl. He was the only guy scoring points for both teams. It was 12-0 heading into the fourth quarter, and he had kicked off for all of those points, man. So shout out to Jason Myers because that was gonna be. It was already gonna be a tough game. It was already kind of an ugly game. It would have been a lot worse if this guy was not making his freaking field goal. So yeah, he was basically the entire offense for a while. And then, not to be outdone, this freaking guy, Michael Dixon, the punter. Outside of the defense, I think Dixon probably had the biggest impact of keeping the goose egg that we saw on the Patriots side for basically those 3+ quarters. This guy was pinning the Patriots well deep into their territory multiple times. I think there was 3 times he pinned them inside their own 10. There was 2 times that he pinned them inside their own 5. Another time inside their own 10, and then I think there was another. Like basically every single time the Patriots were starting somewhere around their 20, or underneath it. Man, it was a dominant performance by Dixon. Man, he was incredible. And like I said, he set up that defense consistently in great positions, even if they were giving up a couple first downs, which they did not give up many through the first 2 quarters. But even if they gave up a couple first downs, the Patriots still had so long to even just get into field goal range. He was a big part of it. And on top of that, those deep punts inside the 10, inside the 5, helped set up the offense to start somewhere near midfield that helped set up this guy for those field goals early in the game. So these two working in tandem with each other, this guy keeping the goose eggs, this guy adding 3 points at a time. Shout out to those guys. Something that's going to probably get lost with the Kenneth Walkers, the Sam Darnolds, the defensive performances and all that stuff. So I wanted to highlight these 2 guys for a heck of a Super Bowl. So you're telling me, you watched Andrew Spider-Man in the same day you want Katy Perry music? I feel horrible. I know, man. Yeah, like I still to this day have never asked why they decided to buy 3 tickets to the Katy Perry. I honestly I should have. But I was just like, I was too stunned to even ask them. I was like, why? But I was like, whatever. I was like, let's just go, But yeah, like I said, after like, I think it was like 20 minutes, I'm like, is there something that I'm missing? And it was just them. Pretty sure. I'm not gonna lie. I think they were. Let's just say that they maybe were under the influence. I was not. Let's just say that. So I was like, okay, they're having a good time. I'm not. So I'm gonna go see something that maybe I might like. So, but yeah. Once again, the Garfield movies, Spider-Man movies, they're okay. They're not bad. They're just not as good as the first trilogy, in my opinion. But David, anyone who doesn't highlight special teams efficiency on the Super Bowl is missing a big part of the game. 100%. 100%. So yeah, shout out to Michael Dixon and Jason Myers, man. Those guys played in a massive, massive role through the first 3 quarters of that game, and obviously also still had some impact in the fourth. But for the most part, the first 3 quarters were probably the biggest highlight for these guys, along with the Seattle defense. So, all right, final two here. This is actually going to be more about the Patriots. So I'll start with the negative. I already kind of touched on Drake May. Young quarterback, probably wasn't ready for it. Seemed overwhelmed. To be fair, the Seattle Seahawks had basically overwhelmed almost every other quarterback into the playoff in the playoffs. Even if you look at Stafford's performance in that one, it wasn't amazing. I feel like the Rams actually ran the ball more efficiently than they actually passed it. So, yeah, the Seattle defense was just they were not going to be stopped at getting to the quarterback. But the one that I wanted to highlight was a negative for the Patriots. And I don't want to single this guy out because there was other bad performances along the offensive line. But unfortunately, Will Campbell is getting the brunt of it. He was obviously a high pick for them. He was, the left tackle. That's always a premium position. And Will Campbell just got overpowered, was just dominated for almost the entire freaking game. And there was plenty of times where he was literally on his back after the initial surge. So it just was not a good performance by him. But I think he's a let me see here. Parker Curry, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Happy Friday the 13th. Not gonna lie to you, I didn't even know that it was Friday the 13th. I knew it was the 13th. I knew it was a Friday. Didn't put it together. Otherwise, I probably would have made it a cool, little bit of a theme. But yeah, man. Will Campbell, he's getting a lot of flack right now. Obviously, a first-round draft pick. Was expected to be kind of like the anchor for that defense in the future. I still think he is, man. This was not the entire Patriots offensive line did not play well this postseason. They gave up the most sacks in in postseason history, in the Super Bowl era. So this was not a one-man letdown. This was a whole freaking team. And that was an issue during the wild card. That was an issue during the divisional AFC championship game. It was an issue all postseason. But unfortunately, they ran into a defense that was far, far too dominant for that to be just ignored. They were lucky in the AFC championship game because the Broncos couldn't score anything. They were lucky in the divisional round against a really bad Texans offense that was giving the ball away like hotcakes. And then during the AFC, during the wild card round, wasn't as big of an issue, but they were able to overcome it with a great second half. In this game, not the case. The offense could never get going. The defense for the Patriots was good, but not great enough to be able to slow them down late in the game. And I think Will Campbell is just an example of maybe that offense just wasn't ready just quite yet. They're a young team. This year was supposed to be a rebuild year. Last year, they only won 3 or 4 games. No one expected them to be in the Super Bowl, let alone potentially almost compete for the number 1 seed for most of the season. So I think this kid is going to be fine. I think he played well for most of the season. It's just towards the end there was just kind of exposed. And that tends to happen with rookies. There's more tape on you. There's 3 to 4 months of tape on you. They know your tendencies. They're going to take advantage of it. And that's this offseason. We'll see how Will Campbell goes through. He's going to have 2 off seasons to go through. does not need to worry about the draft, and he's going to get stronger, probably faster. Definitely going to be a little bit more technically sound, and this is going to be just hopefully a stopgap or a little bit of a bump in his hopefully long career for this kid. So, yeah, did want to highlight that, but I did want to end it in a positive way because this kid did play well this season. So, I just didn't want the narrative to be that the only narrative to be that he was terrible. He was, but so was almost everybody on that offense. All right. And the final one, this is still the Patriots, but this is actually mostly a positive. This guy right here, this guy that was just flying through the freaking air, was all over the damn field. That is Christian Gonzalez here, stopping what probably would have been one of the biggest, actually probably would have been the biggest catch and run of the Super Bowl if that would have been the case. That is obviously Rashid Shaheed just streaking down the field. Christian Gonzalez at the very last second leaping in the air and batting that ball away. That was one of 3 or close to 4 passes defended that Christian had throughout the game. This guy, if the Patriots would have been able to come back and win, I think this guy probably would have had a case to be made that he probably would have been the MVP of the game, man, because this guy was incredible, dude. Consistently, even when he wasn't batting the passes away, his coverage was tight. He was being able to make plays, even when the guy was not his man. As soon as the ball was in the air, this guy flew to it and was there around the tackles, making plays, just causing havoc in the secondary. So, heck of a game by Christian Gonzalez. I think it's going to be a performance that unfortunately will get lost, obviously because his team lost, this other stuff. But this is going to be one of those performances that I think if you're a true fan of football that really likes the niche performances that maybe get forgotten, I think this is going to be one of the better ones in Super Bowl history by this young man. No turnovers. I think an interception probably would have helped elevate this a little bit more, but still great coverage, able to make plays on the ball consistently, and just didn't really give up big plays. So shout out to Christian Gonzalez, man. I think one of the better performances I've seen in a Super Bowl in a losing effort. And hopefully this continues for him, man. Hopefully this guy can continue to make plays because it's always fun. It's always fun to see defensive players make some great plays. So, Steve, he was the only good thing about this team in the Super Bowl. I feel sad for him, 100%. Yeah. I know Carlton Davis also made some plays. I don't want to forget that. Like the secondary for the Patriots, I think their defense, for the most part, was really, really solid. Only gave up a single freaking touchdown. Like they gave up 15 points to the special teams. And obviously, I think it was 5 kicks for Jason Myers, right? The defensive touchdown was to me on the offense there. But yeah, man, the only touchdown for the Seahawks offensively was the A.J. Barner one, and that was it. Otherwise, the Patriots defense held them to 5 field goals, which even with that touchdown and the field goal, 22 points, should be enough to win. But obviously, when you have a defense like that, 22 points is probably going to be enough to win the game. So, yeah, Christian is 100%, man. That's honestly, man, that's actually probably my favorite picture. I was trying to make sure I got some really good pictures to kind of hopefully illustrate how I know this is going to be considered one of the worst Super Bowls of all time, at least one of the more boring ones, and I can see that for sure. It was a lopsided win for one team. There wasn't a single touchdown until well into the fourth quarter. One team did not score a single point until the fourth quarter, so I get it. I'm not going to pretend like it's the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen, but there was some good stuff, man. There was really some good stuff, man. I don't know. It's a Super Bowl that I think is going to be maligned for a long time, properly so, but I still think there is some really, really good stuff to enjoy. So I wanted to bring up some obvious stuff, and then I want to bring up some stuff that may not be getting talked about as much as I've seen or would like to see. So I wanted to highlight some of those guys that will go that might be forgotten to Super Bowl history. So minute 69. Oh, nice. Heck yeah, baby. That was not intentional. I want to say that's a beautiful time to end it, but I still want to give you guys a little bit of a what to expect this offseason. So I'll lead into that. But minute 69, holy cow, man! And we still got how many people still watching here, man? We still got 3 people watching right now, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you guys. Oh, sorry, my apologies. My apologies. It seems weird that you that you have the Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Jackson quarterbacks in the AFC, but the NFC has one with less top level quarterbacks in the last couple of years. Yeah, man, and I think that I'm trying to think here, and I think the biggest difference, and I don't think this is always the case because like all those guys that you just mentioned, all of them have basically been the representatives for the AFC either in the Super Bowl or at least played in the AFC Championship game for the last close to decade now. So that's successful for sure. But for the NFC, I think the biggest difference has been that a lot of these quarterbacks are young. Jalen Hurts, uh, when he led them to the first Super Bowl appearance, he was still on that rookie contract. I think he get paid after he won. No, no, no. Yeah, he was already paid when they won last year. But for the most part, the first year or two, usually the cap hit is really low. Brock Purdy has obviously led them to a couple of Super Bowls. Um, yeah, man, I feel like the biggest thing with the NFC has been how young and how cap friendly the quarterbacks have been for their teams. They've been able to allow those teams to either draft and develop some of those guys or at least trade for some guys, pick up some guys in free agency. That's usually been the thing that I've noticed over the last couple of years for the NFC. A lot of young quarterbacks on either cheap or rookie contracts or just cap friendly early on in the contract that's allowed the team to build around them for a little bit. So yeah, but that's a good observation, man. That's yeah, I agree. Obviously, that will be changing probably in the next few years as Chicago is going to have to start paying Caleb Williams if he continues to develop. Minnesota, we will probably won't have to worry about them. They're probably going to suck forever. Um, sorry, couldn't help myself. Um, I'm trying to think here, man. Brock Purdy obviously just got paid this season, so we'll see how that cap hits eventually kind of affects the 49ers in the next year or two as that cap grows, as that contract goes along as well. Let me see here. What else? I'm trying to think here. Who are we missing in the NFC? I feel like Detroit has done a great job with Jared Goff. His contract is not insane. He's been able to help them kind of build around them. Sam Darnold's contract is somewhat pretty not too bad, man. It's a 3 year, $100 million deal, which even at the max, his cap hit is I think around 27 to 35 million next year, so it's not too bad. Yeah, there's a lot of young quarterbacks in the NFC, so but yeah. And the Chiefs are our only team from the AFC that won a Super Bowl this decade. And to be honest, the AFC is not looking good now as NFC. Um, man, it's it's interesting because I feel like I've overused that word today. Sorry. um, it's intriguing. There we go. Use the mental thesaurus there. It's intriguing because there's a lot of change in the AFC in terms of the coaches. Obviously, a lot of change. Like the two longest tenured coaches in the AFC North, sorry, the AFC East is now Mike Vrabel. 2 years in, he is the longest tenured coach there. So the Dolphins, obviously, Bills are going to be with new coaches. The Ravens with new coach. Mike Tomlin is gone from the Pittsburgh Steelers there, so the AFC North is changing quite a bit. Um, Houston is a relatively young team. John Harbaugh, not John. Oh my God, Jim Harbaugh is only in his second season there, so it's like there's a lot of teams in the AFC that are just kind of barely kind of getting into their identity, in my opinion. And the identity can change year to year, but typically, the I'm trying to think of what's not the identity, because the identity is usually a season to season thing, but what is the culture? That's what I was trying to say. A lot of the cultures for the AFC has yet to really take root. So many of these guys, so many of these coaches have only been in their first, second, maybe their third season. Um, I think the longest tenured guys now is Andy Reid in the AFC, and I mean Sean Payne is one of the longest tenured guys is there as well, even though he's only going to be entering year three now. So yeah, it's gonna be very intriguing what happens with the Bengals there. Zach Taylor, one of the longest tenured coaches in the NFL. Seems like only just like a couple years ago that he was, barely there. So a lot of stuff going on. C Strum. I have no idea how the Cowboys are going to be next year. Kind of depends on which team, if from our division, regress or stay bad in the Giants' case. Very true. And I think the Giants, I could see them being a team that could take a big jump, not like necessarily a Patriots jump. I don't think we're going to see the Giants in the Super Bowl. There's far too many holes in that team. But I think we can easily see that team go. I think they won 3 games this year. I could see them doubling that next year, with if they can get that defense playing a little bit more competitive, get some playmakers on that defensive side. Because I do like what they have on offense. They just dealt with some nasty injuries, man. Malik Neighbors, Scadaboo, Tyrone Tracy was injured for about a month or two. That kind of actually opened up some things for Scadaboo there to really take the reins. Obviously, Jackson Dart was missing a couple games because of a couple concussions. Um, so yeah, man, I do like. Would not be surprised if the Giants are a team that is still potentially competing for a division title, or at least in the mix, like in November, late November, I should say. But yeah, man. But I agree with you. The Cowboys are a team that clearly their defense had names, but it was not working. We still don't know if that was a if it was a Matt Eberflus issue, which it could be. He was not good. He was not a good defensive coordinator. He was not a good head coach. So that might have been an Eberflus issue, and maybe a new philosophy, a new coach. A kind of a different voice could elevate some of those names that we were kind of used to seeing on in Dallas and kind of get them performing better next season. But also with some additions, man, they got a lot of first round picks, second round picks as well. I know they traded some of them to get some Williams and the linebacker from Cincinnati. I know they used a couple picks to get those guys, but they still have a couple good amount of picks to go. So yeah, I'll be excited to see what Dallas does, man, because it's um, as a person that has tried to stream as many games as we possibly can, the one thing I learned is that regardless of how good or bad the Cowboys are, we are going to get a lot of Dallas Cowboy games in prime time. And to be fair, up until this last 2.5 months, the 5 biggest games on my channel in terms of viewership were all Dallas Cowboy games. All of them. The top 5 were all Dallas Cowboys. And then obviously the Christmas games and the New Year's games and all that stuff, they kind of helped, unseat the Dallas Cowboys but Dallas brings in the views, man. People want to see them. I got to give Jerry Jones that. His team is a team that wants to be that many people want to watch, regardless of how good or bad. And if anything, when they're bad, they're almost more enjoyable to watch. You see here, Seastrom, another good question is if the NFC West stays a powerhouse or not. Rams are keeping their head coach and quarterback. The Seahawks are still set up to be pretty dominant next year, 100%. I would not be surprised if the Rams. I don't think it'll happen because I do like their coaching staff and the players that they have. It would not be surprising if they took a step back because that defense it was non-existent in the playoffs. Almost no sacks to speak of for a team that has some really good players in that front seven. Did not really get to the quarterback on a consistent basis, and at times their offense struggled to move the ball. They're getting older. Puka Nakua seems to be getting kind of injured a little bit more. Devontae Adams is getting older, and their running game over the last month of football just did not really show up for the most part. So yeah, I think the Rams are still going to be good, but I think if there's one team in that NFC West that kind of goes down, I could see the Rams being that team. David, boo! The best part of the Cowboys is their cheerleaders. I mean, they're world famous, man. Cowboy Dallas cheerleaders, man. I mean, they even had like I don't know if they still do, but they had a TV show. It was like a reality show, man. They're intense. Those girls do not mess around. Like even Bill Belichick is like, hey, like let's bring the intensity down, all right? These are human beings. Steve, for Dallas, like I said, it depends on how the defense will work. If they improve, Dallas will go to the playoffs. If not, they will be another season without the playoffs. Okay, yeah, I can see that for sure. Because I feel like the Cowboys' offense, it was playing better in the first half. I think in the second half, they started to see some of the cracks develop there just a little bit. But they still finished as a top five, top three offense. I think the biggest difference in the second half to the first half was the running game was not as effective. I think as the season went on, Cavante Williams became less and less effective. He was getting not only less yards per game and per carry, but I think he was also getting into the end zone a little bit less than he was in the first half. And I think that started to put a little bit too much pressure on in the passing game that at times wasn't always up to the task. For the most part, George Pickens, sorry, Pickens, I think he kind of, I don't want to say he arrived at the elite status, but he began to show that, okay, this guy can play as one of the best receivers in the game. He just needs to do it consistently and maybe keep some of the sideline and off the field stuff just a little bit quieter. So. Let me see here. I don't think Matt will do a season like this. They will. But oh yeah. And the final two things I wanted to bring up were one I will be doing. I will be bringing back. It's not a film room. That series will be continuing. We'll actually be trying to drop those. My goal is to at least initially have one every 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to film a bunch of them in the next like week or so. And if I can get them consistently, it just depends on how long it takes me to edit them. If I can get the editing done at a decent fashion, they'll come out once a week at the very least. I'm gonna try to have those out on a consistent basis. I'll kind of keep you guys posted of where I am at when it comes to those edits. And yeah, it's gonna be similar to what it was last year on that single episode that I dropped. It'll be basically my favorite drives of the of the season, starting from week 1 and kind of just moving my way down. I'll try to keep it to basically one drive for every team, and if we go through that and we still have a little bit of the off season left to go, then I'll kind of go back and I'll have some backup stuff. But I want to have at least one drive that I got to see that I really enjoyed that I can talk about for every single team. So potentially 32 episodes of that series this off season. So yeah, like I said, hopefully I can get at least one out per week. Hopefully two, but we'll see, man. So that's gonna be my plan. So look out for that to be dropping early in March for those episodes. And yeah, let me know what you think. I want feedback on those. Definitely especially from the regulars, man. Let me know if you guys are enjoying them. Let me know if you want me to add something. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be dropping those because it's always fun. Watching some breaking down film is one of my favorite things to do, man. It's really, as you guys know, I like to talk. Sometimes a little bit, probably a little bit too much into detail about something. I really get to nerd out about some stuff, and I feel like that series it just allows me to be just the biggest freaking football nerd that I can possibly be, and talking about a single drive for like anywhere between 8 to 10 minutes, and just breaking down play by play what the offensive line is doing, what the receivers are doing. Um, Again, if you haven't watched that, there is an episode that I dropped last off season. Check that one out. It was the Ravens and Chiefs game. It'll kind of give you basically an idea of what to expect for those episodes. But yeah, man, it was one of my favorite things to do. I wish I would have done more than just the one last year, but last freaking last year was just wild. After football season, I really had to work a lot to kind of save up and pay the rent because I knew I was going to be spending a lot of time during the fall season. Just kind of, I basically had to cut back on work if I wanted to actually be able to get the 5 games, 6 games, 7 games that I wanted to do every single week to try to make sure you guys got the stuff that you wanted per week. And yeah, so I really had to kind of buckle down less and try to save up as much kashish to make sure that the bills and the rent were paid. So, but yeah, this season I've been able to find some different ways to be able to kind of find time and be able to commit to those more consistently. So look out for those. Let me know what you think of those when those drop. Give me some feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Let me know. And then as we get closer and closer to the draft, I will try to have some videos out. I'm going to try to pick a couple players. I'll try to pick some players that I think the Packers might be interested in, but also just players that I think kind of catch my eye, that I like having some film on. I think I actually did break down a Buffalo Bills player that they drafted in the first round. I think it was the corner out of Kentucky. I'm not exactly sure when I don't think it was like a single. I think it might have been one of the hangouts where I broke that film down, and I didn't even have like the actual film because I wasn't sure if I was allowed to actually use it or not. But yeah, man. So stuff like that, I'll try to have those out. I'll see what I can do. I know college football is a little bit more. Um, they're a little bit less. Um, I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, they're douches about you using their film, even in a creative and sense. Like the NFL, those film ones. Even when I upload them, it basically says I can't make any money off of them because I'm using NFL films, but they do allow it to be up. But apparently, the NCAA or whatever the college, whoever's in charge of those films, it might be the networks themselves or the conferences. They are they're not like the NFL. They will take down the video. So I'm gonna have to try to test those out and see what I can do with that kind of stuff. I'll try to test it out. I'm gonna try to put one up and see if it stays up there. And if it doesn't, then we'll might have to do it without the film. And I'll try to kind of just give you like a what I saw in the film and kind of give you my positives and negatives of that prospect. So we'll kind of have to do it that way. So hopefully that all made sense, and hopefully you guys kind of look forward to some stuff like that. So yeah, those are the big plans. It's not a not a film room series gonna be coming out, and then I'm gonna try to do um, some NFL scouting stuff, some NFL draft stuff as well as we lead up to it, and yeah, I think that's kind of where we're gonna be. Obviously, we'll be talking about free agency. We'll do stuff like that when that happens, and like I said, this is gonna be a regular thing. We're gonna try to do this every Friday at 7 p.m. and and then on top of that, if it looks like it's kind of gaining some traction, people like it, we'll do some Monday night stuff as well. So yeah, the only player I'm looking to see right now is Fernando. Heck yeah, man! I will definitely be watching some film on Fernando. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting what he does with the Raiders, man. Because there's no way Oakland, there's no way that Las Vegas is not picking him as their franchise quarterback. Yeah, so I'm trying to see here. So Mendoza, he just turned 22 in October. So yeah, by the time when he gets drafted, he's still gonna be 22. He doesn't turn 23 until basically into week 5, almost. So the 1st of October is when the kid turns 23. Okay, so still a young guy. Seastrom, I'll bug you about the. Oh hey, actually, speaking of the World Cup, might be going, might be going. I still don't know if like I know we're gonna be going. Me and a couple family members are gonna be going to one of the cities that they're gonna be holding a game. I still don't know 100% if I will be able to get a ticket to a match, but we will be around that environment. And if that is the case, I will be filming some stuff. I will be trying to do anything, man. Like it's gonna be very similar to the draft, but this time I will actually be prepared. With the draft, unfortunately, I did not. I wasn't really allowed to bring in equipment to do like interviews, and I didn't think about doing them until I got there. So yeah, but hopefully, yeah, I might be going, man. So if that does happen, I will definitely keep you guys posted. Obviously, if I do go somewhere, that means there may not be an episode, a hangout episode that week or something. But yeah, man, how many times am I going to be able to have a potential chance to go to a World Cup game? Not many. So yeah. Seastrom, I'll probably be going to a game in Dallas. I think. Not gonna lie, man. I think the one if we do go, it might be in Texas, man. So we might be around the same area, my brother. So yeah, I got some family down in Texas, man, and I think that's where we might be going. So we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, man. But yeah, dude, the World Cup, man. Holy cow, man. 2026 is gonna be freaking wild. Oh my god. Football, the World Cup, man. There's gonna be the Olympics. Woo. Steve, for what game are you going? Mexico versus South America. I don't know actually. Once again, it's still kind of up in the air. We got tickets, flight tickets to get down there, but I'm not exactly sure. So, but once again, I'll keep you guys posted, or at least I'll have some content, and I'll actually have like my stuff with me, so I can actually try to upload it around the same day, and stuff like that. So yeah, as we get closer, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on kind of what that might be looking like, and stuff like that. What potentially what game or at least something that I might be planning. So heck yeah, man, dude, holy cow, man, that just completely I completely forgot about that this year. Okay, I don't know, man. Sometimes life is a little too. They say it's 360 days, 365 days. I don't believe them, man. I don't believe them. But yeah, man, it'll be awesome, man. I would love to go to the Mexico game. I'm not sure if that'll be the one or not, but we'll see, man. We shall see. Yeah, like I know the channel is mostly like gridiron American football, but let's be honest, man. We sports is sports, man. Competition is always fun. But yeah, Seastrom or anybody, this is for anybody that's on in the chat there. Let me know if you're looking forward to the World Cup, and if you are, which team, which match is like the one that you're looking forward to the most. Let me know. See here. Seastrom, 1,000%. Let's go. Big U.S. and Mexico soccer fan. Let's go. Let's go. Heck yeah. And so many people are like, you can't be a fan of. I'm like, yes, you can. You can be a fan of whatever. Does not matter. All right. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I love it. I love it when the U.S. and Mexico play each other, man. For a bit there, it was kind of like I remember '90s and like early 2000s. It was kind of skewed towards Mexico for a while. I feel like even into the '80s, it was still kind of Mexico. But then like you started to see over the last like 20 years, 20 plus years, like U.S. soccer has really like. I think them especially when they failed to qualify for the World Cup back in was it 2018? I think that really like you can tell like there was a lot of embarrassment in U.S. soccer, and I think they started to invest a lot of time and money into the future of the sport, and I think you're starting to see the dividends pay for the U.S. It's been unfortunate because when they go against each other, I do go for Mexico, just because it's kind of how I grew up. Um, and it's the last couple of years, man. The U.S. has been winning more and more, but every once in a while, man, Mexico still gets that trophy, baby. But yeah, man, it's always fun, man. It's always fun to watch those two go at each other, man, because it's so competitive, man. It's so dang competitive. All the current Mexico matches are in Mexico. Go figure. So I'm gonna get tickets around of 32 match instead. That has a reasonable chance of Mexico being in if they move on as the runner-up. There you go. Man, dude, that would have been awesome if I could see Mexico, man. That'd be awesome. But Steve, since NFL wanted to increase the international games, is there in their schedule? Are there any place you want to see NFL games? Oh, okay. I'm trying to think here. I know they're going to Australia for one of the regular season games this coming year, so obviously they're going out there. It would be. Hmm, trying to think. I think there's a market. I don't know how big it would be, but I think there could be a market for like the Norwegian area, like Norway, Sweden. I think there might be um, some untapped potential there for the U.S. For the NFL, I should say. Um, like normally, I would say like somewhere in South America, like Mexico. They've been doing games in Mexico. They did one obviously in Brazil a couple of years ago. There, stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's I think the NFL is doing what it can right now to expand to a different audience. Um, but yeah, man, there might be some untapped potential there in like the kind of the Norwegian area there because I feel like there could be a little bit of a like the Minnesota Vikings would probably be a huge freaking hit over there. So Yes, it was 2018 World Cup, and funny that was in Russia. Oh, that's right. Yep, 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 yep. That's interesting. I forgot, man. Yeah, that was in Russia. Man, dude, time flies, dude. Holy cow. So yeah, 2018. What? Who won that year? That was France, right? France won that year. 2022 was Argentina, right? Or am I flipping those? Because I feel like yeah, 2022 was Messi because everybody thought that might have been his last chance to win a World Cup. So yeah, 2018 was France. Mbappe was a big player for that one. And then 2022, France made it to the finals again, but they lost to Argentina. Dude, that was a wild freaking game. Like Kylian Mbappe, I think he scored what 3 goals in that game, and every single time he scored, somebody in Argentina's side scored almost immediately. It was just so back and forth. The final 30 minutes of that game, absolutely freaking wild. Yeah, that was a fun final. I'm trying to think. 2018, who did France beat in the final? Was that the year Croatia made it all the way, or am I thinking of a? Sorry, I mean 2018. That was 8 years ago, man. That I was a young man back then. His old brain can't remember that far back. But yeah, yeah. Steve, you're gonna have to let me know, man. You're gonna have to let me know. Dahlia, sorry I couldn't hang out tonight. Daughter's dumb boyfriend decided to break up with her tonight. Well, he's a loser. That guy sucks. Shout out to your daughter Dahlia. I hope she's doing okay. Steve, 2018 France against Croatia. Hey, there we go. Holy cow. I was kind of a little bit of a shot in the dark. I know they had a good year. I just couldn't remember if they made it into the final four or yeah. And then Argentina versus France 2022. Okay, there we go. Honestly, man, I know France is probably still going to be there. They still have a really good squad. Mbappe is still obviously one of the best players. Even though I think he's been dealing with some injuries the last couple seasons, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, Mexico can finally get to the round of 16, maybe the final eight. Come on, come on. But yeah. Either way, either way. Holy cow, man! An hour and 43 minutes, man. We thank you so much, man. Thank you guys for showing out, showing up. You guys are awesome, man. But trying to think here. I'm kind of I don't have much else to talk about. Let me know if you guys have any other something else you guys want to talk about. That would be awesome for Mexico. 100%, man. El quinto partido, man. The fifth game has eluded Mexico for such a long time. Such a long time. I think the furthest they ever made it was it. I can't remember if it was the early '80s or the late '70s. It was I think it was held. The World Cup was held in Mexico, and I think they had they were part of the final four. I think that's the furthest they've ever gone in the tournament. So, but yeah, the like you're everybody's guaranteed if you make it to the group round, which is like basically the first round in the World Cup, you're guaranteed 3 games. And then if you have you get 3 points for every win, you get 1 point for a tie, and you get zero for a loss. Um, so you need to finish in the top two of your group of four to be able to get to the knockout round, which is the round of 32 now. Before it used to be round of 16, but now they've expanded it. And yeah, every single year, almost every single year, Mexico has been able to make it out of the group stage and play the fourth game, but they've never in like the last 40 plus years have been able to play a fifth game. and it's a thing in Mexico. El quinto partido, the fifth game. That's the thing that has eluded Mexico for such a long time, and hopefully this year is the year that they can break that curse. Hopefully. Dahlia, sorry to hear that she's okay and gets better. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Perker Curry, when's your next stream? We will be doing another one on Friday. On Friday, so next Friday. So the 20th is going to be my next stream. So we'll do another hangout. We'll talk about. I'm going to try to bring up some of the highlights of the season. We did highlights and we talked about a little bit of a recap of the Super Bowl. Next, I'll try to recap maybe the playoffs, and then maybe after that, I'll do a little bit of a recap of the regular season. So once again, some major highlights, and then I'll try to do maybe a couple storylines that maybe haven't been talked about, similar to Michael Dixon, Jason Myers, Christian Gonzalez, things like that, where some of these players, some of these storylines maybe have gone under the radar. So I'll try to bring that next week. So yeah, I think the next stream we'll talk about. We'll do a recap of the overall playoffs, do some storylines, do some players, but we'll still just hang out. We'll talk about anything. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Well, you guys are talking about everything. 100%. We are. Hey, there's a hangout, man. We're just hanging out. We talked about movies. We talked about the World Cup. We talked about the Olympics a little bit. We talked about that guy that cheated on his girlfriend and tried to guilt her into coming back to him. Just a weirdo. So yeah, this is why I love the hangouts, man. It's like you thought the just like the live streams were crazy. The hangouts are even wilder, man. So there is something with Mexico in round 16, like people that is just numbers. 100%, 100%, Steve. Dahlia, thanks, Steve. He was a decent kid, but I guess he couldn't handle the greatness with a dash of sass. Unbelievable. I'll try to hang out next Friday. Thank you, madame. We appreciate you. Yeah, and like I said, if people continue to hang out, man, we're gonna try to add a Monday night hangout as well. That way, it kind of gives people that maybe can't do it on a Friday. Maybe they got stuff going on, family, friends, things like that. We'll try to do something on Monday or like a Wednesday as well. So, yeah, we'll add dates, man. We'll add dates. Hanging out is no problem. Let me see here. Parker, do you like Nancy Guthrie? Oh, isn't that the mom of that anchor that's unfortunately got kidnapped? Do you like? I don't know her. I hope she's safe. I hope she gets back. But yeah, I haven't been paying attention too much. Like I know kind of like that she's been missing for like 2 weeks or something like that. So that sucks, man. I hope, like I said, I hope she's safe. I hope she gets back to her family safely and quickly. But yeah, man, that sucks. Sucks. All right, start kidnapping people, man. Leave them alone. Just leave people alone. All right. You want to be a douche? Kidnap yourself. Have you tried that? Have you tried to kidnap yourself? Just leave people alone. Bunch of weirdos, man. And I'm only saying weirdos because I don't want to cuss on on the stream here. Steve, I am really looking forward to Mexico versus South Africa game. The atmosphere will be 100%, man. Because I remember when was the World Cup in South Africa? That was I'm trying to do the math. 2010, right? 2010 was South Africa. Dude, the Vuvuzelas, man, they knew how to put on a show. They knew how to put on a show, my man. So yeah, man. Shout out to South Africa, man. They showed up. They showed out, man. That was a heck of a World Cup. And trust me, I know the World Cup. There's some seedy stuff. There's some not great things that happens behind the scenes for sure, man. And it sucks the amount of exploitation that workers and kind of people. But hopefully, some of the hopefully the positives can outweigh the bad. in stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I just like that there's a little bit of a blend of cultures that always seem to be kind of be mixing together, man. It kind of just like a little bit of a reciprocation of giving each other a little bit of each other's culture as you guys are either going up against each other or kind of in the same group. So it's kind of cool. 2010. There we go. Yes. I don't know how I'm pulling these memories out of my brain, man. Like I can barely remember what I did yesterday, dude. But yeah. Um, but yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, man. I again, there might be going to one, maybe I don't know, but either way, man, we'll definitely be watching some, and who knows, man? There, if I'm here and I have that day off, and you know what, we might even do a stream. It may not be as exciting because it's gonna be really tough to talk about the game because there's probably not gonna. I mean, it's soccer. There's not usually a whole lot of scoring, and also I don't really know a whole lot of players, so, but yeah, yeah. If the World Cup hits and I'm not doing anything, man, let me know if you guys would be interested in a live stream. That will probably be a little bit more casual. It'll probably be I probably won't know a whole lot. It'll be very similar to the Indiana and Miami Hurricanes championship game. It'll be a lot of me trying to learn on the fly as we go along and just kind of talking. So yeah, why not, man? Heck yeah, it's in the summer too. Oh my god. All right, guys. Holy cow, man! We're approaching 2 hours, man. I think we covered a bunch, man. Once again, in starting in March, look out for I'm not. It's not a film room. Though that series will be continuing, starting up again. And like I said, my plan is to at least initially make them every 2 weeks, or maybe every 2 weeks I'll drop a couple episodes. But if I can get them out every single week, multiple times a week, I will do that, man. Whatever I can do, however fast I can edit them. As soon as they're done, man, they will be coming out. And finally, that was the other thing I completely forgot to mention. The Patreon that I have. I typically don't talk about it because at the end of the day, like if you're anything like me, man, you're struggling to. I don't want to say struggling, but you're more focused on paying the bills and paying the rent and the mortgage and all that stuff. So I never like try to hit you guys up for money because I like I don't know, man. It just always feels weird to me. But I will be starting to put up more stuff, especially in the off season. I'll be putting up some stuff on the Patreon. So as soon as I'm done with those edits of it's not a film room or the scouting breakdowns for the draft, those will go up right away on that on Patreon, and then literally it can be minutes or it can be maybe like the next day they will be put on YouTube. But I'm not gonna try to gatekeep those for days or weeks or months or whatever the heck it is. Basically, I just want to be able to put it up there on Patreon first to try to maybe encourage people to be up there. Right now, there's only one tier. It's $1. You can sign up for it if you want. There's no pressure. Please do not feel pressured to do it. I don't really do it for the money, but at the end of the day, it does help pay for things. And yeah, as hopefully in the next couple of years, as this hopefully becomes a full time job, hopefully this is going to be where the income comes in. And yeah, so like I said, I don't really like to bring up the Patreon. I've had it since I started the channel, but I don't really talk about it. But it's there, and I'm going to be trying to fill that up with some content for the people that are there and the people that want to join. So yeah, so the Patreon will be starting to be filled up in March, and so look forward to that. So once again, there's going to be some stuff there. Stuff up there will be going there first, and then it could literally be minutes, hours, or maybe like a day. It'll be on YouTube. So if you want to catch it first, it'll be on there. But otherwise, you can just wait, and it'll be on YouTube very, very quickly. So that's that. So yeah, so Yeah, I almost forgot to talk about the Patreon because I always forget to talk about the Patreon. So yeah, it's that. Steve, you can't imagine how players will deal this World Cup in 2026 will be the USA, Mexico, Canada, 2030 Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay. I mean, the travel will be 100%, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be a crazy, crazy travel, man, for a lot of teams. Yeah, man. I hope U.S. I hope the Canada, and I hope Mexico. I hope they kill it, man. I hope they kill it, man. I hope they represent North America and the Americas with putting on a great show, man. Great performances, great games, great atmosphere, and overall just a great environment to be welcoming people from different countries, man. Because that's more than the games, man. That's gonna be what people remember, man. Like so, yeah. So hopefully it's a great World Cup, man. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch. So Seastrom, that would be cool. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. But yeah, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. Once again, 2 hours, man. Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much for spending your spooky Friday the 13th with me, man. Yeah, we talked about movies. We talked about everything, almost everything under the sun. So I will catch you guys next Friday. I'll be breaking down a little bit of the playoffs. Once again, some major storylines, some under the radar storylines, some under the radar players and things like that. So, but once again, if we get to it, great. And if we don't, and we end up talking about some awesome stuff along the way, and that's to me that's more important. So, thank you so much, guys. Shout out to Seastrom. Shout out to David. Shout out to Dahlia. Shout out to Dahlia's daughter. All right, you'll find a better guy. Don't worry about it. Shout out to Steve Parker Curry. Let's go. Let's see here. Captain Mickey Mouse popped in here for a little bit. Let me see here. Your local was in here early on. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, man, we're gonna keep it going, man. We're gonna keep it going. All right, guys. I will catch you guys next Friday. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And yeah, thank you so much, man. Once again, my name is Dave, and I'm not a coach. Thanks for hanging out.